Hello, my beautiful people. How are you guys doing today? I'm here yet for another video, another life token that I like to call them. And let's jump right into it. So a few days ago, I was near my mom's area where she lives. And I was calling her up and like, hey, Mom, I'm in the area. Let's grab something to eat. And then she calls me and she was like, hey, I'm actually with with some woman of the family and you should come over. And I'm like, So I was kind of debating because I don't necessarily... Okay, so these group of women, they are aunts, cousins, whatever, right? And so I don't necessarily spend time with them as much. So like the little bond that my mother and they have is just different from me. However, I always know they have a good time. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go. I need some girl time. Let me just go and spend time with them. And so I did. And the thing with this is that there's just certain people that I'm not close with. And it's nothing wrong. I mean, I have my reasons, but it's like there's no beef. There's no beef at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just differences that I just rather not be around. And so I went regardless because I was like, you know what? I'm in a place where I can be around certain people and feel good, feel comfortable, not feel necessarily on any type of way. Not that my own perceptions are gone, but I can be, mutual and respectful because I can do that regardless, And so I went and we just started talking and we were having laughs here and there. And I cannot remember who specifically started the conversation. However, the topic was okay, ladies, we're going to go around the table and we're going to discuss our goals or what we would like to do or just do more of this coming year of 2022. And so each of us went, we said everybody said their thing. And then it came to me. So I felt like sharing this part. This is the reason why I'm sharing this video, because the reaction afterwards was different from my part and from their part. And what I ended up responding was my goals or dreams or whatever for this coming year is to grow more professionally, go into the woman that I know I can be. I don't like putting too much pressure on the labels, even though I still use labels, but I am truly an introvert. Like I can get along with anybody. However, I just like to stick to myself. And so I want to get out there more in order to be a professional, in order to be more business mindset. You have to expose yourself. It's not about validation, but it's more about proving like, hey, this is what I have to offer. I'm comfortable in what I can offer. And so I'm going to be approaching others so they can get to know me, so I can get, my business up and growing. And it's not just business, like, just financially, just overall, like mentally, physically, spiritually. I want to be able to get out there, communicate more, build a community, be comfortable within my own community. And so that's one of my big goals. My big goals. I'm in a time in my life where I'm still transitioning. It's a very messy, it's very dark, very, very bright. Like it's a mix, it's like a soup, a whole bunch of shit in it, right? And so but at the same time, I'm also changing. Because I am transitioning, I am changing, and I feel like I am changing for the better. I am starting to get myself to know more better. And so I was saying, I want to grow more professionally, because I want to get my name out there more. I have projects that I have in mind that I want to accomplish and fulfill, and so forth, right? And so my overall message was I want to do me. I want to focus on me. And it is what it is. So then there were some responses around the table. Some were good. Some were like, oh, yay, blah, blah, blah. Good for you. Like, that's great. I applaud you for wanting to do that. And, and it felt good. But then there was one person who was like, oh, but what about your family? And I'm like, and this is where I feel like it's like a teaching or a learning lesson where I could have responded and gone off and be like, blah, 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 you know, because that's just who I am. I always have something to say. But then I realized, you know, I realized who that person was. And I realized how they've always been. And there was just no need to explain myself. I said what I had to say. Everybody said their goals. Why should mine be any different? And I'm not going to sit here and say that nobody else in the circle of women mentioned family. I think all of them did except for me. And that's what caught me off guard too, because once everything was over, I sat there and thought, and I'm like, wow, like everybody mentioned family but me. And that's when I realized that my initial reaction, had I not started healing from it or growing from it, would have been because I dedicated my whole childhood to family. I don't want to do that anymore. I've dedicated all my teenage years to family, even up until now to family. And it doesn't matter on what levels, whether it's parents, aunts and uncles, family in general, family gatherings, whatever it is. When the word family in general, like that is not my focus. My children were always on my focus, which is why I felt it shouldn't have even come into question, because my family, yeah, I have family, but my family is my children. And so, and my parents and my siblings, you know. But mainly, like if I have to jot it down, it's my family. Like it's my children. My family is my children. So I don't even consider that like a goal, because that's, as a parent, that's my focus all the time. No matter what I do for myself, my children are also part of my focus. And so my reaction would have been that, because I've dedicated all my emotional, at least my emotional, maybe not, I'm not also gonna sit here and be like, I always gather everybody around and I kept everybody together. No, I'm not that person. But I know I was emotionally invested in them for so long. At least I can guarantee my whole childhood, that like now it's like I reached a point in my life that I can finally start thinking about me. I finally see that I need to start thinking about me, that family's out of the question. Like, I love you, good luck. You are in my thoughts, but like not to the point where I used to be at. And so the thing with this is where the plot twist comes, is that another woman in the group, she's very close to me, she's a family member, and she kind of snapped back at the other woman and was like, well, no, not everybody can pour from an empty cup. And so I was like shocked. And even there were other women that were like, like they were caught off guard, because they weren't necessarily expecting it. But I understood it, because not only did I feel seen, did I feel heard, did someone actually understood what I was trying to say without me having to explain it, but I also felt her pain. I also felt her struggle with having to say, hey, I can't pour any more than I can give. And she's younger than me, so like I'm proud of her. I love her for that, but and I love her even more because she saw me, you know. That's the whole point. I believe, at least as women, I can't talk about men too much, because I'm not a man. I do advocate for men, but I'm not a man, you know. I'm a woman. I feel like we just want to be seen. We want to be actually heard, not just, oh, I heard the words, but like you heard the meaning of my words. And so when that happens from woman to woman, it's empowering, it's uplifting. It's like, wow, like, you know, there are opportunities like this to feel good, you know. And so that happened, and I left, you know, and it's not like anything went bad. Like I said, the experience was good. I knew who I was going to be around with, because that's something that I also need you guys to understand. You guys need to, if you're going to be in an environment that you know is going to be toxic, and you're just there because of certain people that you want to be there for, you need to be aware of what outcomes can happen, what consequences can arise from you showing up in an environment that you know you don't necessarily feel safe in. So you need to be able to prepare yourself to not overreact, to not always be defensive, because this is coming from the one person who is defensive. I am very, 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 very defensive. Like when I say I can clap back quick. However, that has also gotten me in trouble. That has also gotten me in situations that I never want to be in ever again in my life, especially at the age that I'm in. Like, I don't want that. I don't want that at all. And so my message for you is several things. One, always stand up for what you believe in. Always stand up for yourself. Always remember that you have autonomy over your own self. Like, no one has autonomy but you. And when you have conversations with other women, because I'm talking women to women now, be confident in what you're saying, especially women that have been around you since young. Be confident in what you're saying, because you will receive that tension. You will receive that lashback. And it's nothing against them. They just don't think that way, or they just never thought about it that way. So it's foreign to them for you to speak in a certain way or stand up for yourself in a certain way. And this is woman to woman, because I believe, or at least something that I'm trying to do now, is be more respectful of women, be more trying to create that sisterhood. You know, I know not all of us are gonna get along, but we should respect each other. You know, it's not about everybody being best friends forever. It's about respect. It's about, hey, you're a woman, I see you, I know your struggle, and I'm not here to judge you. I'm here just to listen. And then as a group, when you're talking to groups overall, whether there's men or women included, still stand up for yourself, because again, only you know what is best for you. Only you know what you want to get out of life. And then third, the holidays are coming up. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. So please, if you can avoid disagreement, do so. If you can step out of what makes you feel uncomfortable or unsafe, do so. You do not need permission. You do not need to say bye. You don't need to say hello. Do what makes you feel comfortable. And most of all, these are the holidays. And something that I have realized in the last 3 years, I have spent the holidays very stressed out because of just my own surroundings, just my own life events. I have spent them down deep inside, that like I don't want to do that. I no longer want to be in areas that I don't feel comfortable in. I no longer want to be around people that I don't feel comfortable in. And it does not mean anything more than that. It's just, I am protecting my peace. I am protecting my space. And if I'm able to include myself in gatherings, then great. And if not, know that all the love is still here, and you know, there will be time together. But other than that, I hope you guys got something out of this. Have a beautiful Thanksgiving. Remember, it's about family, nothing else. The shopping can wait. Leave that for Christmas if you want. But hug your family, hug your friends. And I love you guys. Have a great one.